Oh, that looks nuts. Nope. Nope. Where the fuck am I? Make do. We're gonna make do. Live stream. How we doing? We're a minute and a half into this, and I've just been doing nonsense this whole time. Jesus Christ! All right, let's get GarageBand going. And in 3, 2, 1. What up? What up? And welcome to another live edition of the unofficial podcast, the world famous and critically acclaimed 5/16 podcast. My name is David Breen, and you know, guys, with it being America's birthday, being the 4th of July, I could think of no better co-host to celebrate this with me than the immortal, the icon, the legend, the Hall of Famer, the 8-time WWF World Heavyweight Champion. He is a real American. Fight for the rights of every man. The immortal Hulk Hogan. Woo! Hell yeah, Hulk. As always, it's an honor to have you on here. We're going to talk all things the boys, all things America, really. You know, like, when it comes down to it, Hulk's on here so we can talk America. You know, we're going to talk about how this is the greatest country in the history of the world. I don't care what anybody says. USA. If you're just listening, I was doing the Hulk Hogan, like, he's listening to the crowd type deal. We have fun here on the live streams. So, guys, before we jump into the boys, just want to let you know, starting this 45 minutes late because I was having some serious issues with GarageBand. I was getting livid. I was yelling at it. I was getting angry. I kept saying, I haven't done anything fucking different than the last time I did this. This is fucking bullshit, GarageBand. Fix it. Turns out I did do something different. If you wanna look on the camera here, there's an on-off switch on the microphone, and it was just off. I was getting fucking angry. I was yelling at my computer. I was fucking YouTube and shit, getting mad at the videos for not knowing how to fix my problem. Because none of the videos were like, hey, there's this on-off switch on your microphone. You're going to want to make sure it's on. Like, first and foremost, you got to make sure that the fucking video, that the microphone's turned on. Otherwise, you're getting nothing. You know, but fuck them for not saying that. You know, that should be the first thing. On any video about how to get a microphone to work, the fucking first thing on that video should be, hey, make sure it's on. So fuck anyone who made a video for how to get your microphone working on GarageBand and their fucking step one wasn't turned on. All right, you're a nerd. You're like, oh, if you have this software, you're going to want this. I don't want to hear about software, buddy. All right, I'm not watching this video to hear you talk about fucking software. I'm watching this video to know if my microphone's on. Clearly, I need a video to tell me whether or not my microphone's on. And now it's on. So, guys, I'm sorry I'm 47 minutes late. I guess I'm not 47 minutes late. I was 40 and change late. I'm sorry, but we're talking all things boys. Season 4, episode 6. It was a doozy. It was a doozy. I lost someone during my microphone rant there. I lost someone in the live. They're like, what the fuck's this guy doing? He's talking about goddamn microphones. Why did it say the boys? For him to be sitting here talking about microphones with a picture of Hulk Hogan next to him. It's not making any sense, guys. I hear you. I hear you. Some things don't make sense. The Boys, season 4, episode 6. Starts out, they're doing a Made in Manhattan walking tour, and Huey's just sprinkling his dad's ashes on the sidewalk in New York. That's what his dad wanted. It was that him and his mom bond over the fact that they both thought it was a shitty movie. Both like, hey, that movie sucked. And they're like, right? Why do you like it so much? That movie really sucked. And hold on one second. I'm going to make sure the audio is working. So you guys are going to get some feedback shit. Oh, audio's working. Audio's working like a dream. So they're sprinkling dad's ashes on the street. And there's this guy who I am 90% sure is the same actor who played Trey Atwood in the OC. And he just screams at Starlight, abortion is murder! And Huey's like, hey, shut the fuck up. And the guy's like, it's murder. Fuck you. And like that guy walks off, and the tour person's like, well, if we get back to the tour, that is not what our tour's all about. And they're like, yeah, let's get on the tour. So they tour around for a little while. Later, they're hatching up a plan because Tech Knight's doing something. And Tech Knight did not disappoint. He was fucking awesome in the show. He's having like some big dinner thing, and there's a butthole Spider-Man. He shoots it like right above his butt, and they're like, oh well, he got invited, so we're gonna get him to help us. And then goes and like has drugs for the guy, and the guy's like, I need you to shove him up my ass. And this guy clearly has a hole. It's on like his lower back. It is clearly not his asshole. And like tries to shove it in there, and the guy's like, hey, that's my web hole. That really hurts. Stop it. He's like, oh, sorry. And then he shoves the drugs up the guy's ass, and the guy's out. And then Huey walks in, and MM's like, give me the Purell. He Purells, and he's like, we got 48 hours until this guy's up. Huey's like, all right, great. So the plan, Huey's going to dress as that guy and go to the thing. And that's what they do, but to their surprise, the Seven's there. Huey's like, oh, Homelander's here. You fucking... Homelander knows who I am. He can smell me. Homelander doesn't smell him. That's the big spoiler. That was the shock of the episode. Homelander couldn't smell Huey to save his life. And Huey's just going around and putting listening devices all throughout the party. And then Tech Knight walks up to him. He's like, oh, I'm so glad you're here. Come on, let me show you something. Takes him. He's got like a Scooby-Doo door in his library, and he takes him down an elevator, and it's a sex dungeon. He's got someone chained up in there, and the guy's going fucking nuts. And he's got this like black servant guy who's cleaning up. Oh, Tech Knight was awesome. Not awesome, fucking like good character, great character. Talking about how his family, because Firecracker thought it was from being in the 7. And she's like, whoa, I can't wait till I get one of these. He's like, oh, you don't get this from fucking superhero money. There's generational wealth. We own slaves, baby. We own motherfucking slaves. And then we started opening prisons. Because that's what you do. You own slaves, then you own prisons. And he's like, hey, Train, you would have given my great-granddaddy a run for his money, but he would have caught you. He would have caught you. Hulk loved this. Hulk was going nuts. He was like, yeah, brother. Fucking catching the slaves, yeah. For those of you who don't know, Hulk Hogan said the N-word a number of times. But A-Train's like, yeah, haha, yeah, funny. And this guy takes Huey down to the sex dungeons. He thinks he's the web guy. And he, like, straps him to a table thing. I don't know how to describe it. He was, like, on all fours on a table. And then Ashley came in, and she starts tickling Huey's feet with a feather and masturbating and just talking banana shit all the way through. And Huey's like, oh, stop. And Tech Knight's like, oh, web shooter, web weaver, whatever his fucking name is. He knows he has to use the safe word. He'll use the safe word whenever it doesn't. He was like, I don't know the fucking safe word, but I can't let him know that because fucking web weaver knows the safe word. So he's like, yeah, and then he just starts like calling out. He's like, spider web. And they're like, what? He's like, I like calling out things when my feet are getting tickled. Tarantula! And like these aren't it. So Ashley, she's in like full dominatrix getup. She's tickling his feet and jerking off. And then she like wipes. It's disgusting. Wipes her cum. Huey's wearing a mask, by the way. I did not touch on that. He's wearing a mask. He's wearing a full suit. It's a goose suit. It's an old circus term. He's wearing like a whole suit with a mask, and she like wipes her fucking cum, lady cum, all over the mask face, and then he's like, "Yeah, go ready up for the next one. You're gonna love that shit." And she's like, "Yeah, I always love that shit." And she walks away, and Web Weaver starts like fucking with Huey, and he's like, I want to hear your safe word one time. And he's like grabbing him by the head. He's like, I want to hear it. He goes, lube? And the guy pulls the mask off, sees it's Huey, and he's like, oh, you're so dead. I'm gonna get Homelander to fucking kill you, but I'm gonna have my fun first, Huey. And talks about how, humans don't have enough holes. Sometimes you gotta make your own holes. And fuck those holes. So he's like got Huey strapped down to the thing. Up in the party, I'll do all of this, and then Starlight, MM, and Kimiko. I guess I gotta go to the party. Explain how they got down here. They're like in the van listening to Huey, and they lose him. So after a while, they're like, all right, we're going in. Kimiko drops her phone, which is super inconvenient, and just leaves. Like notices she drops it and then leaves it. You're like, Kimiko, get your fucking phone. You can't talk, and you have made up sign language that nobody else knows how to do. Frenchie knew how to do it. She tried to go see Frenchie in prison once, and he was like, the person was like, hey, he doesn't want to see you. And then again later in the show, she's like waiting at the door, and the lady's like, hey, I really, like when they open, she's like, hey, I really don't think your inmate is going to want to see you. And Kimiko writes down, I have nowhere else to go. So sad. But she drops her phone, so she can't fucking communicate with people. And they're all going through the house. Starlight and Firecracker cross paths. And this is where Starlight is not the good person in this show. At all. At all. Firecracker's like, oh, you bitch. Like, sees her and he's like, what the fuck are you doing here? And Starlight's like, hey, before you, and like, she realizes, so hold on. She like tries to do her powers and they're not working again. So Firecracker's like, yeah, let's see you do it again. And like snaps and shows her powers work. And then Annie's like, hey, listen. She's like, don't you fucking try to apologize. What, you're going to tell me it was all Starlight and you're not Starlight? She's like, no, I'm absolutely Starlight. And whatever. Like, it doesn't excuse you being a fucking cunt. But I'm sorry for the way I talked to you when I was a kid. Like, such a fucking, she's like, on my side, I was horrible. I said horrible things to you and to other girls. And I'm sorry. And like Firecracker's like, she's caught off guard. She wasn't expecting a genuine apology. And then Annie stabs her with a fucking needle that like puts her out. Annie, she's a horrible person. I get she had to get down. She had to save Huey. She had to do this. She had to do that. This Firecracker is the fucking victim in this story. Firecracker, before she was crying in like a room because she tried to go talk to Sister Sage, Homelander, and Victoria Newman. Everyone's at this thing. And when she walked up, Sister Sage says, hey, this is actually a private conversation, but I'm sure at the bar they have some Sunny D and Everclear. Just calling her a fucking white trash. Like, what a trashy drink to tell someone to go get. Sunny D and Everclear. Like, just, oh, you white trash hillbilly. Go get your fucking shitty drink. And she's like crying in the back because she feels humiliated and less than all of the people at this thing. She was like trying to eat an hors d'oeuvre and it was nasty. And she like spit it in a napkin. And then when she walks up, she's like, you see all the free shrimp they got here? You see all the fucking free shrimp? That's what she's excited about. She's like, they got fucking shrimp everywhere. This is pretty sick. I should do more superhero shit. But so that Annie fucking stabs her and she's out. And then they go into the library. MM and Kimiko go in the library. And Sister Sage is in there. And MM points the gun at her. And he's like, You're not bulletproof. You may be smart, but you're not bulletproof. Kimiko's like, find the Scooby-Doo door. I know it's in here. I know there's a Scooby-Doo door. Find it. So Kimiko's just going nuts looking for the Scooby-Doo door. And Sister Sage is talking to MM, and she's like, hey, I don't think your daughter would want you to do this. You know, she got expelled from school. She told another boy to suck a bag of dicks, you know, blah, blah, blah. And he's like, you've been following my daughter? And she's like, of course. That's what I fucking do, baby. And then she goes to just, like, alert. She wants to get Homelander's attention. He shoots her in the head. As we know, it doesn't kill her. It makes her dumb for a while. It was really fun. I forgot about that. And it was really fun later because they're like, Tech Knight's not there and A-Train's not there. Like, a bunch of people are missing. And Homelander's like, all right, we gotta do something here. Like, it's getting late. Like, we need to tell these people why they're here. There's a bunch of politicians and important people there. The Speaker of the House is there. Victoria Newman's there. And he's like talking to Sage, like, all right, what should we do? And she goes, you know, one time I ate a whole bag of candy corn in my mouth. And he's like, the fuck are you talking about? She's just laughing. And then she's like, right now I think I want a Crunchwrap Supreme, and says some other shit on it. And he's like, and then sees she has a hole in her head. And he's like, why don't you take a seat? And he tells, got him all over the place. Hulk's no help. And he's, whatever, I'm finishing this scene. He's like, all right, I'll give a speech. He's like, we need to enact the 25th Amendment, which, you know what, I probably should have looked up what the 25th Amendment was. It's something about taking over the presidency. God, what a great America. On America's birthday, I don't even know the 25th Amendment. Deals with presidential, it's when the vice president becomes the president due to the president being unable to operate in this capacity. Blah, 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 blah. Homelander's like, we're going to do that fucking immediately. Before this fucking lib cuck president even takes office, we need to do this. And they're like, well, what about the public servants? You know, what about this? What about that? Have you even thought about this? It was very much like when he got Stan Edgar out as the head of thought, and then like everyone at the board meeting just had like real, like, how do we actually run this business questions? And Homelander's just all shoulders. He's like, I don't fucking know. It was that exactly. And he looks to Sage for help, and Sage is laughing and eating, like, grabbing handfuls of cake off of a cake, and like just like smiling and stuff. And he's like, fuck. And then Victoria Newman goes, I'm gonna run this shit, and then starts going in about how, great line. She's like, most Americans are retarded. She's like, they should not be making any decision. Anyone who owns a live, laugh, love coffee mug does not deserve to vote. I second that, Victoria Newman. I probably don't agree with a lot of your ideals. Maybe actually, because the Speaker of the House was talking to her about how abortion should never exist, and how if you get raped, you can tell you can't have a baby through rape. Your body will reject the baby if it's through rape. He's telling her that, and she just stares. Oh, and it's a great, like, she's imagining it. She pops her own head, like when Homelander imagined killing all those people in the crowd. For her, which is interesting. Homelander, he massacres people. Victoria Newman, she kills herself. That is, I like that character because she's not proud of being a superhero. Homelander was fucking made to be a superhero. For her, she is one, but she's ashamed of it because Stan Edgar taught her to be ashamed of it. So for her, it's I'm gonna kill myself having to sit here and talk to him. And Homelander, it's I'm gonna kill fucking everybody for having to sit here and listen to this shit. Great character dynamic for her. But she's like, I'm gonna run this shit, blah blah blah. And she just explained, she's like, it's corporations that run this country, not humans, not citizens. We're gonna fucking do this. It was a great little speech she did, and all the people are like, all right, here, and they all toast a glass to her. They're all on board. Back in the little dungeon area, Huey is about to get a new fuckhole, cut a new. So in the library, MM had what we think is a heart attack and went down. Kimiko went and got A-Train to come in, and she convinces him to fucking pick MM up and run him to a hospital, and then he gets back right in time for Victoria Newman and Homelander's speech. But he saves. Oh, that was great. He saves MM's life, and when he's doing it, like a kid sees him, and the kid, it's like seeing a fucking superhero in real life. The kid acts as you would, and A-Train, like the smile on A-Train's face. What a fucking great character he's turning out to be. He, in the first fucking scene of this show, he murdered Huey's girlfriend, and then later, like, just nonchalant, he did not give a shit about it. And now, like, there's this whole fucking bravo to that actor, bravo to the writers for making this character as good as they did. Because I thought A-Train might die early on in the show, and I wouldn't care that much. Now A-Train's probably gonna die this season, and I'm gonna care a lot when he dies. It won't be like, yeah, fuck yeah, he's dead. It'll be like, oh shit, he's dead. A-Train, he dropped MM off on a gurney, and like you see him and the kid like connect eyes, and the kid is just blown away by it, and the smile on A-Train's face, it's because none of his saves have ever been fucking real. It's all been staged, fucking, scripted saves that aren't real, like the movie theater that his brother blew up on when he was telling his brother's kids about it. And this was legitimately him saving a life, and a kid being like, oh my god, it's a superhero saving someone's life. Amazing writing. I'm glad it was in the script. And then he's back in time for everything. Turns out MM had a panic attack, and the doctor's like, you need to stop doing whatever it is you're doing, because it's going to kill you. You got hives. The whole episode, he was like listening to meditation shit, like just like, shit, I got to get my meditation. Try to get grounded. And he had hives, and he was fucking clenching his fists and shit. The whole episode, he was going nuts. And so now Starlight and Kimiko, they get down in the dungeon, and Kimiko runs and knocks out Tech 9 right before he cuts a new fuckhole into Huey. And they get Tech 9 up on a Ramsey Bolton torture thing. They have him up on that, and they wake him up, and he's like, oh, Starlight, I'd be lying if I said I didn't fantasize about getting you down here. And Kimiko starts stabbing him in the leg, close to the femoral artery. She could have killed him. And then what? And she starts stabbing him in the leg, and he's loving it because he's a fucking masochist. And he's like, Huey goes, how do you torture a masochist? And the dude who's fucking collar chained to the wall breaks off, and they're like, oh shit. And he's like, no, and like points the computer and pulls it up and like shows them that they can access Tech Knight's banking info. They just need a retina scan. So they go over, they hold his eye open, and they get his retina scan, and now they're in his bank. And he's a billionaire because he's got generational slave and prison wealth. And they start sending money to, I forget, they sent like $40 million to like a refugee thing, $65 million to like sexual abuse survivors. And he's getting fucking angry, and then they're like, $100 million to Black Lives Matter. He's like, no, don't you fucking dare give that to them. He's fucking freaking out, and they're like, all right, well, tell us what you know with Sister Sage and Homelander. And he's like, they need my prisons for internment camps. And they're like, oh, fuck, that is not good. That is so like they're learning. Earlier, I'm all over. Whatever, fuck you. I'm all over the place. Earlier, they found out because fucking A-Train tells them stuff that Homelander's putting together a superhero army to get. So they're like, oh shit, like this is a real like they're fully planning to just eliminate everybody, and they need that guy's prisons for internment camps. And as Kimiko hits the button, after he says that, she hits the button to send the $100 million to Black Lives Matter, and as they're like putting together everything, they see that he's getting strangled to death. They're like, whoa, what the fuck? And they see, and it's the black servant guy. He's just choking him from behind, and they're like, stop. He's like, no. He's like, I fucking raised this spoiled, entitled little bitch, and now he's gonna be doing internment camps for fucking superhero wars. Absolutely not. I'm putting an end to this motherfucker right now. And they're like, that's fair. That is absolutely fair. So he's like, get out. He's like, I'm gonna make it look like an accident, and it looks like he's gonna autoerotic asphyxiate himself. And then he said he was always a big fan of David Carradine. It's a celebrity who famously killed himself via autoerotic asphyxiation, which has got to be one of the most humiliating ways to go. Like, imagine your loved one that you find that out. You're like, oh, how'd your brother die? Like, oh, he jerked off with a noose around his neck and strangled himself to death doing it. Like, oh, that's no good, huh? Like, nah, that's no good. Maybe tell them that he was like, doing something heroic or something. Like he was stopping a bank robbery or something. Like, nah, it's what it is. All right. He liked what he liked, and he died doing what he liked. He died doing what he loved. All right. Who the fuck are you to judge him? So they're leaving, and they get out of there. Homelander is back at Vought. Firecracker shows up, and he's like, fuck were you? And Starlight showed up at the party. She lied. She's like, I chased her off, but I couldn't. Bitch got away. And he goes, so he's like, but how did Starlight know about the dinner? She says to him, and he goes, Starlight wasn't the leak. And she's like, yeah. Or the fucking dude wasn't the leak. And he's like, well, how do I know it wasn't you that was the leak? You're the one who let Starlight get away. And then she goes on this whole thing about how I was a fucking joke before. Oh, I gotta remember that because the Deep did something awesome. She's like, I was a fucking joke. I had a podcast with less listeners than the 5-6 Kings podcast, and people were laughing at me and making fun of me. She's like, now I'm the head anchor of VNN. All right, no one's fucking laughing at me now. Ain't fucking nobody laughing at old Firecracker now. And he's like, all right, I believe you. And then she starts taking off her clothes, and he's like, hey, I am not sexually attracted to you. You need to fuck off. She goes, it's got nothing to do with sex. This right here, this is loyalty. And then she shoots breast milk at him. And he's like, oh, how, you're not pregnant. Because he can fucking see inside her. And she goes, there's, long list of supplements that you can take to make this happen. I want to show you how much I care. So then, they go to sit down, and he's presumably going to breastfeed from her because that's his thing. Whatever. He's allowed to have that be his thing. It's fucking Homelander. Earlier, the Deep and Black Noir did not get to go to the dinner. Black Noir has his fucking helmet off, and he's just drinking. Deep's like, what are you doing? Stop it. Get out of Homelander's chair and put your helmet back on. And he's like, man, I don't want to do this shit anymore. I'm going to somewhere. He said, I can fly, right? He's like, I had to be this quiet black ninja. I know how to fly. I'm going down to whatever. They're going to pay me to do whatever at their show. I forget what it was. And the Deep says, man, you got to stick with Homelander. He talks about how much Black Noir liked killing, and how Black Noir, they had some fishing thing that Vought was trying to take over, and Black Noir went and killed the villagers. Like, he had a hard on for 2 weeks straight because nothing got him hard like killing. It's like, and I'm starting to realize Black Noir was right. Dude, it might surprise you, but some people make fun of me. But when I drive their nose through to the back of their skull so that they can never walk straight again, they're not making fun of me then. And you're like, oh shit. He's like, I'm starting to realize that killing is the best feeling. He said something. They didn't say that, but he said it similar to that. And they're like, the diva is great. Guys, the characters on this show are all fucking just mwah. Just chef's fucking kiss to the characters on this show. But I think that's everything with the soups. Sister Sage, when Victoria, whatever her name is, when Newman was finished giving her speech, she looked and saw Sister Sage, and she nodded at Sister Sage, and Sister Sage just has fucking cake all over her face. She nods at her, Victoria Newman nods again, and then she's like, Sister Sage is so fucking great when her brain's not working. She was just aggressively nodding at her, all excited, like not understanding what's happening. So Butcher, it was kind of a lame Butcher episode because I didn't had Braden not explained it to me last week. It might have been a huge oh shit reveal for me, but last week Braden was like, I think this guy's not real. I'm like, oh shit, obviously he's not real. Fuck. Okay. Now let's operate knowing that. And so it was all trying to get this guy to make another virus. He's like, you just need to make me one dose so I can kill Homelander. It's like, then you can go back to Victoria Newman and the Zoe girl and live your life. And he's like, dude, it's impossible. He's like, what we learned on that farm is to make a dose that big, it would be airborne, it'd be a global pandemic, and it would kill anyone with compound V in their veins. So then, the good angel is Butcher's dead wife. Is it Becca? I think it's Becca. And she's like, you can't do that. He's like, think about Kimiko, Starlight, and then he goes, Ryan. And then the devil is like, fucking kidding me? You're the one who said every soup needs to die. And those two are going back and forth. And then he looks at Becca, the bad, I don't know the guy's name, but the other guy looks at Becca and is like, why don't you shut your fucking cake hole, bitch? And Butcher's like, whoa, you can see her? What is happening? He's like, yeah, you didn't save me back in wherever we had that mission. You let me die there. And you could have picked anyone to be this virus inside of you. And you picked me. All right? Because you knew I'd get job fucking done. He's like, so we're doing this virus thing, Butcher. All right? I don't care what you say about it. We're fucking doing the virus thing. That's where they left us. They left us with Butcher realizing that guy's not real. It's just all in his head. And we don't know what Butcher's going to do. I'm very excited. I could see Butcher saying, no, make the virus. I think that'll bring us into the end of the season where Butcher's going to have the virus, and he either uses it or doesn't. Time will tell. But guys, I'm loving this. We got 2 episodes left this season, and there's unlimited potential across the board with just so many. What's going on with Frenchie? Is he done? What's going on with Kimiko in that regards? Huey, Starlight kind of being a piece of shit, not really being the good person we were led to believe she was up until this point. It's really, guys, let us know. But I'm very excited for the next 2 episodes to round out this season. I think so many directions they can go, and I'm very excited to see it. Guys, let us know what you think. Maybe you think it sucks. Let us know in the comments. Yes, guys, that's it for The Boys, Season 4, Episode 6, live review extravaganza. Join us right back here Sunday night, immediately after House of the Dragon. I'm going live. We're talking all things House of the Dragon, episode whatever. Is it 4? It's episode 4. All things House of the Dragon, Season 2, Episode 4, coming this Sunday around 10 p.m. I'll go live. I'll watch it as soon as it's available to stream. I'll go live right after. Guys, you won't want to miss it. DM us on Instagram. Follow us on Instagram at 56kings, at FIPESIXKINGS on Instagram. Send us a DM. Let us know what you think of the boys, House of the Dragon. Let us know if there's, once the boys and House of the Dragon are done, going back to movies, guys. All right, that's our bread and butter. We do motherfucking movies here on the 56 Kings. Send us a DM at FIVESIXKINGS on Instagram. Let us know what movie you want us to do once we get out of TV season, guys. But guys, I'll see you Sunday night. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. I love you all very much. I'll be back here live Sunday night bringing you House of the Dragon. Peace out.